All right, welcome everybody back to Blades in the Dark. This is episode 2. We're going to be dealing with Downtime for the first time after the first score that this crew has successfully performed last session. Just a real quick introduction. My name's John. I'm the GM. To my right is David as Ludwig Drakovac, known as Rind, playing the Hound. We have Ted as Audric Michter, known as the Dancer, who is our slide. And we have Chris as Clinch, Dr. Clinch Rightfield, known as Tubes, who is playing our Leech, of course. So, last episode, episode 1, you guys performed your first score where you took the offer from the mysterious Mr. Poole, who is the lawyer and counsel for a mysterious unnamed client, and who asked you guys to take over a lampblack operation. They were dealing in spirit anchors near your turf in the night market, and you guys shot a young boy, which caused a riot. Blamed it on the.
I didn't shoot anybody.
blamed it on the lampblacks, and then in the ensuing chaos, Tubes managed to get in there, release a ghost into the wild, and secure the shop and all of its treasure. And so, according to the deal, according to the contract, you guys are now operating that. All the profit is yours, with the only catch being that Mr. Poole's client will call on you for a favor in the future, the nature of which you do not know. So that should go down well, I'm sure. So in between episodes here, we all talked on email and did XP. We're not going to bore you guys with going through that. So just real quickly, just so everyone's up to speed, we have Dancer gave himself 2 XP. Is that right?
Yes.
Ted? For addressing a challenge with deception and or influence, which you did in spades, so you gave yourself 2 for that. Rind gave himself 2 XP for addressing a problem with violence, which is the Hound's trigger. 1 XP for expressing his heritage and background, being a Scoblin causing civil unrest. And combined with the XP that he got for his desperate actions, where he got his face pummeled in, was able to raise his finesse by 1, which is great. And Tubes gave himself 2 XP for addressing a problem with mayhem, which was indeed the flavor of the night. As far as crew XP goes, you guys gave yourself 6. We got 2 XP for acquiring product supply and securing new territory, which is the Hawker's specific trigger, which you definitely did. 2 XP for contending with challenges above your current station. The Lampblacks were indeed tier 2, a little bit tougher than you guys, so... and you addressed the whole problem head on, which was kind of ballsy, so yep, that's no problem. And you definitely bolstered your rep in the underworld of Duskfall, so in a big way, because that was sort of a requirement of the contract as well, was to make your conquest of that turf very public. So you gave yourselves 2 for that as well, so a total of 6. So the only thing that anyone gained was Rind raising his finesse by 1. Other than that, we're just filling up some tracks until we get to the good stuff. All right, so we're now going to enter Downtime, which is the other half of the game. Other than scores, is always Downtime afterwards, and it goes through a set number of phases, which always kind of go in order. But there's a lot of mutability within each of those phases, where a lot of different things could happen. So it's sort of like it's its own sort of scenes and adventures and stuff like that happen during Downtime, which is great. It's not just like you guys kick back in your lair and just take it easy. But the first one is the really fun one because it's payoff. So this is where you get your rewards for a successful score. So now we could do this one of 2 ways, and I'm chosen to do it a little bit more a little bit more role-playing wise, I suppose. But we can keep it tight if you want to. So basically, what this is going to happen here is that when you met Mr. Poole the first time, you were wondering whether or not what would happen after the score is done if he would contact you. Well, indeed, he did. In fact, he invites you to his offices, his law offices in the district of Charter Hall. So give me 1 second here. So you should be able to see that on roll 20, the map there.
All right. Charter Hall being the sort of main business district of the city, is that right?
Charter Hall is the main civic district. It's where all the offices and things like that are.
Okay. All right.
And give me 1 second, sorry.
So this is sort of like City of London bankers in bowler hats and twirling their umbrellas around their arms. And
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And look who's here.
Oh, yeah. Is that Mr. Poole?
Mr. Poole.
Or, Grand Moff Tarkin, as the case may be.
1 second, sorry. So, Charter Hall is, as you guys know, is the site of the first major construction in the city. It's sort of like the original part that you would actually call city. And you might be able to see that there is actually markings of an old lightning barrier around the district. It was where the first lightning barrier was ever created. It has since fallen into ruins and disrepair as the city expanded outwards and new lightning barriers were constructed around the major city. So it is a district of wide streets, clean, relatively safe. So it's home to most of the civic offices, courts, licensing, taxation offices, banks, records archives, things of that nature. It's also where the crematorium is. And it is also where, most importantly, where the Charter Hall University is, which is sort of like this sprawling, kind of run down, but still prestigious university. And that is actually right around here. It's outside the original lightning barriers.
Students are so much fun. So young and wild. They'll do anything with a bit of alcohol in them.
Oh, God.
So,
love it.
You guys are moving down this street here, which is sort of one of the main drags in Charter Halls, known as Clerk Street. There are a number of carriages with the giant goats that they carry, that drag these carriages around instead of horses. Clerks and government workers with papers and folios kind of, underneath their arms running around. Wealthy bankers sort of like twirling their canes and such like that. So you guys have found yourselves in the office, very severe columns, tasteful. It's like a small little townhouse actually, but it's like of exquisite quality, of course. And it is the law offices of Pembroke, Poole, and Cashwright, I'm sorry. Pembroke, Poole, and Cashwright, attorneys at law on Clerk Street. And you have been invited in. There have been a number of looks as you guys have made your way out onto Clerk Street. Ruffians like you usually stay around the university. It's very rare that people of your quality are found strolling along Clerk Street. Although, Dancer, you could probably wear your fine clothes to this if you wanted to.
Oh, I do.
You look
Pembroke, Poole, and Cashwright, you said?
Pembroke, Poole, and Cashwright. Yes, attorneys at law.
I'm making a note on our crew sheet, guys.
They're good. And a lot of heads turn when they see you walking down the street, and then there's even more whispering going on as they see that you actually go up the steps into the grand doors of the law offices, and the clerks inside sort of sniff at you and see that you do have an appointment indeed, and then you are brought into the offices of Mr. Poole. It's a very severe office. It does not surprise you in the least about the way that it looks. The first thing you notice when you kind of come in, behind the desk there is a wall of shelves, and on the shelf behind him, impossible to miss when you're just kind of sitting in the chairs looking at Mr. Poole, is one of those clacking balls things that clack, 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 clack.
Newton's Cradle?
Yeah. What's it called?
Newton's Cradle.
Newton's Cradle? Very good. Okay, I had no idea. But that is going, and it drives you crazy, which is probably the intent. It just constantly in the background, just clack, 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 very rhythmic. It seems to soothe Mr. Poole. There's a number of books and trinkets and stuff like that. You notice that amongst some of the books on the wall, there's actually a miniature Leviathan ship that is within a bottle. It seems to be very distinctive. There's a plaque underneath it. You can't quite make it out, but let me know if you want to try.
Yes.
And there is there's also what appears to be a picture, a framed picture that is standing, that is facing him on his desk that you can't see. Other than that, though, there's very little personal effects. Everything else seems to be business. Mr. Poole is sitting rigidly in his chair as he faces you. He just you're in the midst of the conversation, basically, as he looks quite pleased, but he has his hands sort of crossed on his lap. He has his tea, and his cigarette is actually in an ashtray that's kind of placed directly in front of him, so that serpentine tail still goes right up right up in the middle of his face like it did at the cafe. I'm sorry, his coffee, not his tea. So, gentlemen, I hear good news.
Yes, Mr. Poole. I think everything went quite well, all things considered. Although there were a few injuries, some innocent bystanders, I'm afraid. But and I'm sorry, poor Rind here got rather. Well, you just look.
Yes.
Wretched.
The price of
feeling my ribs myself, but
I'll patch you all right up.
the price of doing business, isn't that right, Mr. Drakovach?
Indeed.
Well, I hope you've all been enjoying your ill-gotten gains in the meantime. I'm sure the extra coin in your purses doesn't load you down too much.
Oh, it's a burden I think we can bear. I'm less confident of our ability to put up with that horrible woman at the what was it, a flower shop, John?
Silk shop.
Silk shop.
Mylissa.
Talk all the time. Once she got used to us, nothing to say at all.
Well, gentlemen, the benefits speak
I
for
thought she was very
themselves.
sweet.
Then you can man the shop. I'm going to go drink. I'm sorry, Mr. Poole, you were saying?
Yes, this chitter-chatter, I'm really not for it. Not at all, really. But I have called you here just to let you know that my client wishes to impart upon you that he is aware of the goings-on down there in the undermarket, and that he approves greatly, and that the intended results were immediate and quite satisfactory. So, he wishes to extend his thanks for your part in this, and he wishes to remind you of your end of the bargain, that in the future he will call upon you for a favor. But in the meantime, do enjoy your profits.
Believe me, Mr. Poole, I can't think that any of us have forgotten.
Clinch is just staring at the Newton's cradle. It's like driving him insane.
His eyes kind of shift to you and sees you doing it, and you just see like his lips just kind of curl up in like a little quirk, like that's exactly the plan. So if there's anything else, gentlemen.
When do we get to meet your patron?
Oh, I thought you learned this the first time, Mr.
You bastard.
All in good time, all in good time. Don't be so eager. You might not like what you
eagerness
see.
is what brought us success, my friend. You pay us for eagerness.
Well, that and your good aim.
We haven't
Yes,
paid
it,
you.
It was quite effective at lessening your compatriots not too long ago.
Information is a payment in its own right, is it not?
John, can I survey the office, particularly the boat, or any other
Yes.
signifiers of? I mean, the general idea is I'm trying to look for anything that would tip me off to his patron. I don't know if that's possible, but
Yeah. Do you want to do it so that it doesn't look like you're doing it?
But wait, if only there were a distraction.
I mean, I can be pretty conspicuous about looking at the boat. I mean, that's not a big deal. But drifting from there to more like paperwork on his desk and things like that.
The files in his filing cabinet.
Well, you're
really, but yeah,
you're seated in comfortable chairs that have been arrayed for him to, talk to clients and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
So I have to excuse myself to the bathroom first.
it's an office. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you got up and wandered around to the shelves to take a look, it would, it would occasion notice. You don't know what kind, but, it's obviously a formal meeting. You're expected to sit in the chairs until, he did not invite you to wander around his office and look at shit.
I understand.
But you tell me what you want to do. You can also survey from your chair and just kind of focus and see if you can see it.
No, I'm going to stand up. Ooh, Mr. Poole, are you a Navy man? And I'm going to sort of trot over to the boat, sort of hands in pockets, lean in, take a look at it.
Questions about my past already? Is that the way of it, Mr. Druckovich? He stands up with his hands clasped behind his back as he kind of saunters over to where you're standing and surveys the ship with you.
Who said anything about a past? You don't have the physique of a sailor, so it may just be that you're enthusiastic.
Mr. Druckovich. How very bold of you. Quite cheeky, in fact.
Oh, and let me tell you, sailors have all kinds of physiques.
Very true. Yeah. So, what is the boat name?
The boat's name, as you can see on a gold plaque at the base of the bottle, is the She Demon.
The She Demon.
Of course it is.
Oh man.
I'll make a note of that.
This is a ship that is well known to. Actually, it's well known to all three of you. Most Leviathan ships actually have storied histories and personalities. Almost, it's like they're almost like characters in myth.
Are we dealing with? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are we dealing with more of a like an ironclad or like a galley? What is a Leviathan?
Like an ironclad. It's like a gigantic, Titanic-sized ship. I mean, absolutely huge. But it runs on electroplasm, basically. So, huge, gigantic things, like aircraft carrier size. Like big ships. And so they're kind of larger than life. And because they are the means by which the Empire survives, because they harvest the blood of the demons underneath the Leviathans underneath the sea, they're revered, basically. And their crews and captains are the stuff of legend. So anyways, the She Demon, you guys recognize the name. It sends a chill of horror and repugnance from both down the spine of both Tubes and Rind, and a swelling of pride from Dancer, as you can probably tell.
One of the finest Doskval craft ever to sail the sea. He was goblins that it encountered. Oh.
Do you say that out loud?
It was
a bit.
It was a mighty Leviathan. It was a great ship, a great hunter ship for Leviathans, but it was also used in the Scotland War to great effect against Scotlanders, and many Scotlanders died as a result of the use of this ship. It belongs to the Strangford family, which is one of the
Strangford.
Not the Strangfords.
I sort of suck my teeth like that. So it would be common knowledge that it belongs to the Strangford family? Or,
yeah. Only the noble houses basically have a stranglehold on all the Leviathan fleets, which is how they maintain their power.
I sort of suck my teeth, like in an exasperated way, and I say, "Oh, the bloody Strangfords!" And I turn to Dancer and I say, "This ship was most famous for sinking many a passenger vessel of the Scovelans. Lots of women and children.
Oh, don't be
always
so-
a military target. I sort of glanced over at Mr. Poole and back at Dancer.
Don't be so
You know,
coy,
not
Mr.
all-
Druckervat.
Not all nations can be, how can we say, honorable.
Oh, don't tell me you've fallen for this romantic Scovlander uprising here in Dustfall. I assure you that will blow over in a matter of weeks. Don't get involved with that, my young friends. Let bygones be bygones. You're now part of the Empire now. Just as much
Is
of
everyone? Sorry, is everyone still
Doctor?
standing up?
I thought only Ludwig was, unless
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
only
still
I am.
sitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yes, no need to be so coy.
I understand, Mr. Poole. It's the business of war.
And
you
business
warrior.
is good.
Mm-hmm.
So do tell me, did the invitation that I sent you, did it have anything regarding carrying on small conversation? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it didn't.
You're very droll, Poole. Very droll indeed. Your point is well taken, sir.
well.
So I believe our
Mr. Poole,
business
the
here
money
is
isn't in
concluded.
hand yet, so only awaiting your.
Oh, I'm sure it is. You must be seeing many profits. That's exactly what the reward was, I believe. Out of character, you're going to be getting coin, but it's coin that you're getting from product.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to be like, here's your payment. You know, yeah.
No. That would be even more.
Crash.
No.
That was the whole.
That.
That was the whole strange thing about the contract, is that there were technically no strings attached.
Yeah.
He was like, we want you to do this.
No contract. I didn't sign anything.
Well, I'm just using the term loosely, but it's just
Okay. The
yeah.
deal.
yeah. The
I
deal.
know.
There was a deal.
I'm staring at the Newton's cradle still.
I snap my fingers.
I look directly up into Mr. Poole's eyes, and without breaking contact, I reach out and I grab like a fountain pen off the desk, and I stop the Newton cradle,
I love
and then drop the pen.
it.
I'm gonna leave.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Poole, in a lightning quick reaction, snatches the drop pen, giving you a stern look of consternation. Wait, is it stern look of consternation? I don't know if that makes sense.
I understood it.
a look of consternation as he gently places it back in its holder, and he says, "Well, on that note, I believe rudeness has taken over, and can't abide that in my office. So I believe our time here is done. But a pleasure doing business with you, gentlemen. I certainly will contact you if my client has something else for you." And with
Capital. Splendid.
he turns his back and
A blast.
he looks over his shoulder as he holds one of the Newton cradle balls, and just like clack 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 clack.
Not
All right.
a subtle man, Mr. Poole, is he?
Okay,
Jolly
so
gentlemen.
that was just sort of set the scene, basically. So what's been going on here is that you guys have been out of that score now for probably about a week or so.
Oh, okay.
We'll do downtime and sort of a series, sort of like what happened during that week, plus what happens after this point. I know that you guys have you're hurt pretty bad too. So you've actually been able to set up that operation in the silk merchant shop. See to your existing operation near the Vale, also underground, and just kind of make sure that business is in order, basically. So basically what the deal was in the silk merchant shop, it's just a minor detail, because the profit that you're going to be generating from increased turf is sort of a mechanical abstraction. It's not like you have to say, like, well, I go check on the silk merchant shop and make sure that's okay. There's nothing like that. You don't have to get that nitty gritty. But just so that you are aware of the nature of it, that hole in the back of the shop basically went a short distance and then opened into the abandoned tunnels that were old rail lines that connected all the way east to Gaddock Station, the night market. And so they eventually hook up with existing lines, and so it was actually a very effective smuggling tunnel that had direct access to the trains being brought in into Gaddock Station. So through a network of, corrupt train operators and railjacks and stevedores and smugglers, shit fell off the train and makes its way into those tunnels and eventually into your tunnel, where a small portion of it is brought into that shop, and then you distribute it and sell it. And you basically, you make your kickbacks up, back to whoever helped you out to get the product, and, the whole operation kind of moves smoothly. And the end result of that is how much coin you get. All right. So the profit that you were able to nab, the payoff you got to nab for this score, which is the profit that you're generating from this new turf, until the point in which you make another score. Okay, so in this phase basically is you're going to be making 4 coin. Okay,
it's pretty respectable.
Yeah,
tiny little profit.
It's basically like a heavy sack of silver, I think is the way that they put it. A minor score, basically. Now, that coin, okay, you already know that coin is an abstraction, doesn't actually mean 4 coin. You can either put it on your crew sheet, which means that it's basically in your lair, like you're stashing it in the apothecary shop in the Silk Shore. Okay, like it's just, those profits are coming in, and that actual physical coin is lying in your lair somewhere. Okay. Or you can distribute it amongst yourselves. All right. But either way, either the lair or you personally, as in each one of you, can hold 4 coin as a maximum.
Before you need to vault it or stash it or whatever?
Yeah. For you personally, if you want to have more than 4 coin on your person, you have to put it in your stash. And that means it's not on your person anymore. Okay. But then it becomes more difficult to take coin out of your stash. But your stash is what determines your basic lifestyle, in which you oftentimes will need to roll, like how good do you look, basically, or how well can you live. And you can't have more than 4 in your lair unless you upgrade your lair with vaults to hold more coin. Okay, so
that's what that is, right?
Anything in excess of 4 needs to be spent. Okay, but there's lots of stuff to spend it on, and you never have to worry about petty cash, really. Unless you have 0 coin.
Pizza money, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like you never have to say, like, I buy money, I spend money to, I don't know, buy some rope or something like that, That's all part of the load system.
Right.
Okay. So it's heavily abstracted, but you have 4 coin, and I just need to know, like, where are you putting the 4 coin?
Well, right now our crew sheet, guys, says we have 1 coin.
Yeah.
So if we just got 4 coin, we could each take 1 and put 1 in the vault. Or one in our lair, and then we'd still have room for 2 more before we had to upgrade for a vault.
That sounds sensible.
David,
I'm with it.
Everybody takes 1 coin. We put 1 in the crew.
Great.
Okay, so everyone just mark that. Ted, you can mark the crew sheet.
I'm marking it right now. Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
So with coin, John, if you've got 1 coin, is that like if you had to do something with it, you just spend the coin? Or would it count in some cases like as 1 die? You'd be rolling versus your coin or something like that?
No, you never roll. I didn't see any examples of actually rolling coin, but you could definitely roll stash, because that would determine
your stash.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have anything in your stash, you're kind of considered to be destitute. It's basically like you don't have any savings.
Right.
I could have $1,000 in my hand, but if I'm not doing anything with it, then it's just I'm just as poor as if I didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Right. So the coin in hand means we're not starving, but a stash means we're improving.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to come back to coin in a second, but all right. But the good stuff here is reputation. Okay, so reputation is how you increase your crew's tier, which is your level, basically. All right, that is all important. That's basically like the number you want to go up is your tier. Right now, you are tier 0. So, and if anything requires you to roll your overall strength as a party, you get to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. because you have 0. All right. So you need 12 reputation to roll over, and then spend. I can't remember the formula, but you got to spend a good deal of coin as well, then to raise yourself up to tier 1. Okay. So you need coin, you need reputation to raise your tier. All right. But the more turf you have, the less reputation you need to roll over and increase your tier. All right. So turf, if you're looking at the crew sheet, is actually on the other end of the reputation track.
Yeah.
So as you build turf, it actually cuts into the requirement for reputation. All right, which
Cool.
is kind of makes sense story wise, right? Because you're cool shit. You got a lot. You can hold on to a lot, so you don't need that much reputation to actually, you've got the power actually in your hands. So for reputation for you, let's see. Give me 1 second. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. All right. So here's the deal. I've already got it calculated, but just to go through it real quick. You get 2 rep per score by default. You completed a score, you get 2 reputation. Plain and simple. All right. If the target of the score is higher tier than you, you take +1 rep per tier higher. The Lamp Blacks are tier 2, which means you get 2 rep from them. So we're up to 4. All right. And then if the operation was so quiet that no one noticed, you actually receive no reputation. That's the thing. So we were talking about that earlier during I think the crew creation episode, that if you wanted to be super quiet about things and make sure, like you're kind of ghosts in the city, then you have no reputation. Very difficult to do, but also could be tactically sound. But you guys have gone the opposite. Your operation favored type is show of force. You were told to make a big deal out of it, so this was noticed. So
and when you say noticed, we're talking noticed by the Lamp Blacks rather than, say, the neighborhood knowing it was us.
Well, no,
I mean, our faces were all over the place.
Yeah, they know. I mean, they know it was you. They know it was this new crew. They're not quite sure like who the new crew is, but you don't have.
So people put 2 and 2 together and realized what was going on.
Yeah,
because at the time the whole thing was predicated on the idea that the Lamp Blacks probably knew perfectly well what was going on, but the local neighborhood didn't.
Well, you'll have to see how that falls out. But you were
see.
Noticed. Your faces were seen.
Right.
Conclusions were drawn. So total is you get 4 reputation. Okay.
All right. So we just mark that on the rep track.
Yep.
Why are there 2 different colors of blades on there?
Well, that's the turf he was talking about.
Oh, I see. So 6 rep
4.
is when... No, because there's 6 rep blades and 6 turf blades.
Yeah, so it's if you go from left to right, it's 12. Like if you don't have any turf, you have to fill in all those turf. You have to keep going all the way to the end of the track in order to roll over.
Oh, I see. So 12 total is what you need to jump a tier. And
Yes.
it can be rep plus turf, or it can be all rep or all turf or whatever.
Exactly.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
So in this case, we have no additional turf, even though we added a...
Well, we're getting to that. So we're going step by step. Okay.
Got it. Sorry.
All right. So turf, which is next, actually, is that you guys definitely... Turf is much more sort of a story narrative-based thing. It's not... it's sort of like, do you think you got more turf? Then you got more turf, and I definitely... you got more turf. There's no doubt about it. So you got +1 turf. All right. Now, if you're looking on the crew sheet, you can see that you've got your claims map there.
Hold on. The crew sheet's acting funny.
I think you're just going to have to add it to the rep side.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm launching it too.
All right. I've just added to the rep side. It's fine. So that puts us at 5 blades on the track. You were saying, John?
Oh, hold on a second.
It was acting weird. Oh, you're having the same problem.
Let me just don't touch it. Let me just do it.
I'm not doing anything.
There.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Did you do something because you're dungeon master, or?
You want to hit the top part of the blade, like the shaded part on turf, and it turns it black.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So on the you see below that there is the claims map.
Yeah.
Right. So in the middle is your lair. That's obviously the center of your power right there, and then it sort of has these suggested pathways in order to gain more power. That's only a suggestion. You can do whatever you want, but if you make these claims, if you're able to establish these claims and take them over, you get the listed benefits. Turf is just the benefit of having turf, which is to lessen your requirement for a reputation, which is reward in itself. So that actually counts as a claim, taking this turf. So you can mark one of those turfs and kind of go in the direction that you think you want to go in. Once again, you don't have to follow the actual pathways. You can attempt one of those at any time.
We
But
don't
usually-
also get a personal clothier by virtue of the fact that it's a silk merchant, do we?
No,
I was
no,
like,
unfortunately not.
Nice.
Well, in that case, I was going to say that. I mean, what it ultimately represents is a surplus cash.
No, you're not making the case here to get any other ones. You're getting turf. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
so you're just getting turf.
You were not inviting us to look at the board.
No,
You were
I'm saying the
today,
claim you get is turf. Yeah.
So, does anyone care which of the two, well, four, I guess, turfs we take?
Top
Left or right?
Top left.
Well, why don't we start going out from the lair just to keep it?
So left.
You actually
Yeah.
progress as if it's a tree. I misunderstood.
Yeah, you don't have to though. Like I said, those are suggested
Right.
pathways. But
But I like
that
I like taking the one to the left because it leads to the personal clothier. I think
And the
that's-
vice den?
and the vice den. I'm
it's,
all over.
it's
this.
generally considered that the further away you move from the lair, the more difficult that claim is to get.
Oh, cool.
Generally, but it doesn't prevent you from
Right.
going for the big stuff right away. In fact, the game encourages that. So
A luxury venue, my lads.
the most famous clothier
Doesn't
actually in the city is actually in the night market. It's Dundridge and Sons.
Dundridge?
Yeah, and they're known for actually having very affordable but very tasteful clothing, and that they don't turn their noses up at underworld
Ah.
customers.
So there's Zara, basically.
So there's probably like higher end shops, that are in Brightstone or White Crown, but the number one for the underworld people are.
So, do we want to just take that turf to the left then, guys? Yes.
You can change it. It doesn't matter. You can
Well,
change it any
yeah.
time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just
I've
click on
clicked it. It's too late.
All right.
It's ours now.
Okay, so now your reputation requirement is only 11. Okay, so that's good. So you're only 7 away from potentially raising your tier,
Oh, we better do something big.
and you'll need more money too.
Let's.
Now, now sort of the status changes that come. All right, so here's the deal. This is also sort of an organic thing. It's sort of like who benefited from this score other than yourselves, and who got fucked by this score other than yourselves. And luckily for this score, it was actually pretty obvious. So you're gonna lower your status with the Lampblacks by 1. So you now have, I think it's just at 0 right now, but now I'm going to change it on the faction status sheet. The Lampblacks are going to be minus. Oh, I already did that. Yeah, -1.
Where? I see it. Status -1.
Yes. And then your status with Mr. Pool's client is raised by 1, and I actually added him on the bottom of the underworld faction list there.
Cool.
Ah, Mr. Pool's client.
The
Yes.
Strongford family, you mean?
I was hoping there'd be a clue there.
The shipbuilders. His pool, water.
So you can see there that Mr. Pool's client, his tier and his hold is not known, but you have +1 status with him, which is good. But you're -1 with the Lampblacks. All right. Now, the other thing is that in order to keep operating in your turf, everyone's got to pay somebody. Originally, when you claimed your original turf, you paid off the Bluecoats in order to look the other way and allow you to operate, right?
Right.
So it's just a basic 0 status with them. Now, every so often, basically every downtime, you got to pay the Bluecoats to keep operating, right? Now, you don't have to, but they expect it. So you have to pay tier +1 coin to whoever is allowing you to do your shit on your turf. Okay? So that means 1 coin. The Bluecoats demand and expect 1 coin in order to look the other way and allow you to continue operating. If you do not, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I was going to ask.
Let's pay them.
So, what it says in the book, guys,
Basically,
in the book it says if we don't pay the Bluecoats, John starts a clock, and we tick the clock every time we don't pay. If it fills up, we lose faction status. We could wiggle a little bit.
I would actually be late on your rent.
I would be in favor of being late on our rent this time.
I agree.
Wow.
Because we need the money.
Yeah. On the front end, I'd rather be a bad. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd rather owe the Bluecoats money than be broke.
Is there like any kind of interest on that though, other than like having to worry about the clock?
I think that
just
is
next
the
downtime
interest.
we'll owe them too, right?
No,
I'm sorry, say again.
No, it just says pay coin equal to your tier +1 when you pay a tithe. If you don't pay the tithe, start a clock. Next time we have a payout, we pay the tithe, coin +1.
Right.
Or tier +1, I should say. And the clock will still be there with 1 tick on it from this time.
Yeah, that's
right. So what I'm wondering though is that do we want to start burning those clocks up right now? Because we're going to start making more profit, but also our tier is going to go up eventually. And so we might find ourselves in a place where we owe them like 5 coin down the line. We might want to save those clock segments for when we really need them. Because we have the money right now. We've got 1 coin to spare.
So I think it's important then for us to understand whether the clock returns to 0.
I doubt it.
Oh, look at the little clock icon there, John. That's so nice.
There you go. That's if you do it. If you fuck them over. It should be noticed too that the Bluecoats, yes, are the police force, but they're thoroughly corrupt, and so that they're actually viewed as the most powerful gang.
Right.
So to raise our tier, John, we need more coin, right?
Yep. I think it's I could be wrong. I don't have the page with me, but I believe it's the new tier times 8 in coin. So 8 coin.
Oh my god! And what is the advantage to tier +1?
What do you mean tier +1? To raise your tier?
If our tier goes up, what is the advantage?
That's your overall level. That's what I was saying before. It's your overall strength, and so it can be used in all sorts of different roles.
Yeah, it affects a lot of stuff. Like if I want to like, for instance, like with the leech, there's stuff like if I want to like craft explosives, the like quality of explosives and stuff that I can make is defined by our tier, because that also like subsequently defines like the quality of the workshops and stuff that we have access to. Like all of the stuff that we don't want to mess with, like how good it is sort of defined by our tier, and that kind of like mechanically handles a bunch of other weird stuff.
Right.
Like if we're tier 2, it means by default that like I have access to a tier 2 workshop and stuff. Like all of a sudden.
Right. So my point being, we need a lot of coin to get that tier. Yes, once we have it, our tithe goes up.
Got to spend money to make money, guys.
Exactly. So I feel like, I think we should put it to a vote. How about that? I favor stiffing the Bluecoats. All right. Stiffing the Bluecoats has it. Democracy, gentlemen. Oh, I say we go for a drink.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but Clinch is starting his own clock. Clinch's patience running out.
I'll let the 2 of you handle the finances, as long as I have space to work.
I should mention that, by the way, that is totally. I'm making a joke. It is a joke, but Clinch, like, if you were seriously like pissed about that, I mean, you guys don't know these guys that much. You know what I mean? Like, there's actually a space on your character sheet to start your own clocks. You can do your own. You can make your own. You can add a clock and name it whatever you want, and do exactly what I just did on Roll20. And you can be like, when when this clock fills up, I'm gonna fuck
I'm
these guys
leaving
over.
the group.
Because well, remember, you guys are bastards. There's none of that. Like, it doesn't have to be party unity. You know what I mean?
I know it's just,
You know.
it's a really passive aggressive way to tell all the other players at the table that like
Yeah, I'm starting a
Alright,
clock.
3 more
Clock until I
slots.
throw.
I'm not playing with you guys anymore.
Clock until I throw acid.
Well,
at
that's
Ryan.
just it. I mean, you'll have to either have a new character or we're
my
having
God, that's
separate
hilarious.
sessions.
No.
And John's working our 2 parties against each other.
I'm just kind of joking. I mean, there's no.
No, I
I
think
mean,
it's- I think
you
it's
turn on the
great.
party if you felt like turning on the party. You don't need a clock to fucking tell you when to do it.
No,
You know?
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think that's great. That's awesome.
All right.
All right. So we're keeping our coin.
Keeping the coin.
We got a clock with the Bluecoats.
All right.
So that takes care of payout.
Yeah, so there's never like the same blue coat that comes to collect. There's sort of like the local precinct there at the night market that kind of operates around the Vale. They always send a different guy. They always wait till you're kind of in the middle of doing something. It's always super inconvenient because that's where you kind of work. It's not where you live. You live across town in Silkshore. And so they always kind of show up and really bungle just the whole etiquette of the thing. You know what I mean? Like, they try to be all sly about it. You know, like, wouldn't it be nice if, you know, if we let you keep doing your thing down here? And
Be a
like,
shame
God,
if you all
just
went
fucking,
to jail today.
you know. And then, so how do you refuse them? Like, how do you're just like, fuck you, you know what I mean? Or
No. Well, I mean, I don't want to speak for the group. Do you guys have ideas? I have an idea, but it's very simple.
All right. Lay it on us. What's your idea?
I look at him and I say, "You're not Toad. Toad's the man we speak with. Send Toad like you did last time, or you'll get no tadpoles from us."
Is Toad a real guy?
No, man. Toad's totally made up. It's perfect. Every time somebody shows up, you're like, you're not the guy I deal with. And we just keep blowing. I love it.
Well, this guy's
And then when some guy shows up, I'm Toad. You're like, no.
But
Toad's a tall guy.
You know,
You know,
basically, it's like, how do I know I can trust you? You're not Toad. That's basically the
Yeah.
attitude I'm conveying.
well, it works pretty well because this guy, you can see, has like a nose that has been busted like a number of times until it's just sort of. Yeah, it's just sort of nothing. It looks like he's taken
Looks like mine, I think.
a few hits to the head. In
Wow.
fact, Tubes, you think that you're without this guy in uniform, actually stripped down to the waist. You're pretty sure that you've seen this guy in the fighting pits down in Dunslow a number of times.
Oh.
Anyways, it seems to have mashed his brain a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, Toad's Toad's sick. You're right." He's like, "There's Toad, right?" And he looks at his compatriot, and he's just like, "Eh." He's like, "All right, we'll be back with Toad." And he saunters off. All right,
Love it.
so
Right. We need some money, guys.
all right, so you kept your money. All right, good.
More money.
So that goes back up the chain. Like, that guy goes back and reports to his superior that they didn't pay and they want Toad. And the guy's like, "There's no one called Toad, you idiot. They're screwing us."
Maybe he said frog. Was it frog or Toad?
And they're like, "We'll let them, we'll let them do their thing. We'll just keep an eye on them. They're not hurting anybody right now, but let's make sure they don't get too uppity." So tick on the clock.
Okay.
All right.
I love it. This is a cool mechanic.
All
I
right.
like it.
Next up, tied into that actually, is the downside of
The heat.
the heat. Yes.
Ooh.
So,
I vote for no heat at all.
yeah, that's not going to happen. The heat is the real problem with this whole score, the way this went down. All right. It's going to be a problem for you guys a lot because of your operational force thing, but it's going to make things fun. So it's all good.
We do have a
For
strange
some-
reputation.
So here's the deal. You get right off the bat. If you're looking on page 147, you get four. You get 4 heat right off
I
the
was
bat.
afraid you
'cause
would say that.
It was loud and chaotic, and it was high exposure. So you have 4, and then you get +1 heat for a high-profile, well-connected target. That is not the case, so you don't get that one. Add +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. I'm not going to give you that one either. I can make a case that it is, but hostile, I'm thinking like the Lamplacks had to be, like you already had like negative status with them. You know what I mean? Like, this was like a little small side operation sort of thing.
Like,
So-
if we went to Crow's Foot and like started wrecking their crap.
Yeah, that'd be more like hostile turf. Yeah. This wasn't. It was sort of like open territory that they had just happened to get to first. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to count that one. Add +2 heat if killing was involved. Oh yeah. Yep.
The kid died.
That
People.
the kid died. No, well,
we don't know about the kid, but
you're not sure about the kid,
Sounds
but
like a
the lamp black died.
yeah, a
There was
couple
a
people,
dead lampblack.
Yeah.
couple people died in that house. Yeah,
You got a pretty brutal entanglement in that house.
Rind
I
like
didn't-
blew
I
his
didn't
head
know you
off,
actually-
man. He was just like,
Oh
just,
yeah, right. Like
remember
that,
with his
right?
2 guns, like
Yeah.
right on top, like right through the brain.
My jaw is still dangling and broken, by the way.
Okay.
Oh no, we're all fixed now. Tubes take good care of us.
All
So
right, good.
you got 6 heat from that score. That is a lot of heat. Okay,
That's a lot of heat.
you need to mark that on the crew sheet on the
I
crew
just did.
tracker. Yeah,
Oh no, I'm sorry. I marked it under rep accidentally.
not on rep.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
The
you
second 2 I just did accidentally. Ah, shit.
Can
Okay,
we do
we
it?
gave you this
Sorry,
responsibility
Internet.
with a certain understanding that you
Here, I'll
did.
do it. I got it.
What are you doing?
So we had 4 rep, 1 turf. I'm doing it for you.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
6 feet. I got
Yeah.
Okay,
How did you undo?
you just hit the X to the
it.
left.
You don't click it. You just click on the value from left that you want it to be. So to
Oh,
take
I
it from
see.
6 to 4, you would just click the 4th blade.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got a
All
lot
right.
of heat on us.
When you reach 9,
Wanted man.
when you reach 9 heat, it rolls over to and you gain a wanted level. Okay.
Yeah.
Eventually
One-
they send the tanks.
Yeah, wanted levels are not good. They were.
Because then Rind goes to jail.
It does tie into that, yes. But getting a wanted level does clear your heat. But then the wanted level stays permanent until you get rid of that. Much more difficult to get rid of a wanted level than it is to get rid of heat, as you are soon going to see. Basically, what happens is that the next stage of downtime, which is entanglements, is based on your wanted level. Okay, right now you're wanted level 0, so you're okay, but it's not good. All right. I mean, like you're close to getting a wanted level.
There are ways to reduce heat in downtime, right?
There is, yeah. There's ways to reduce heat. The only way to clear a wanted level is through incarceration.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right. Now that can be you, like one of you. It can be someone that is tied to you, or you can actually do like you could do a setup. You could do a frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
love
but
it.
someone has to go. You know, it has to be incarcerated, and then there's a whole claim map within prison and everything. It's awesome. Like incarceration.
I could see our cloth merchant lady being a very
you
patsy.
could work that. Now,
I might be jumping the gun here. I think I am.
Go
But
right
if we're
ahead.
not sure or not if the boy is dead, is there any way I could clear heat by like being the one who operates on him to try?
it's jumping the gun, but you could totally
Okay.
but that's an awesome idea for whenever if you want to do that as one of your downtime activities. But let's wait till we
Okay,
get
cool.
to that phase. Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, that's a good idea. Okay, so next up though is we have entanglements. All right, there is I'm going to try it out by just kind of being really open about it for this one. There's like 2 ways you can go about it where I just kind of roll for it secretly and kind of make it come up organically, or I can be very open about the mechanics of it. Just for teaching, learning purposes, I'm just going to be open about it so that kind of we're going to lose a little bit of the artifice of the whole thing, but whatever, you guys can handle it. Okay, so for the entanglements, you have heat. So there are 3 different charts based on severity, based on your heat for entanglement. So these are just sort of representative of just the day-to-day crap that you have to deal with being criminals. It's like downtime, like I said, is not just lazing about on couches. Like, you leave a pretty rough life and crap happens and you're constantly having to juggle responsibilities and problems with your business, basically. You know what I mean? And so this kind of sort of represents just sort of like the odd thing that that happens in between scores. So you unfortunately immediately have heat 6+, which is the toughest chart. So, but fun for me. So let's. So what you have to do is it's based on your heat. You have 6+. The number of dice you roll is equal to your wanted level. Like I said before, you have 0 wanted level, which is good, which means that you you're going to roll 2 dice and you're going to keep the lowest result. So what's cool here is that if you go one person, make sure that not 2 people do it. If you go to the crew sheet and you click the actual word wanted, but don't do it yet.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, if you click the word wanted, it will actually roll that for you. So I am ready now
Can I
to
do
do
it?
that. Yes, you can do it now. Set the transition it over
Is that all right, guys? I'll roll it.
You
I'm
do
rolling.
it, man.
No bonus dice. 3.
Oh, that's bad, right?
All right,
No,
3.
a 3 is okay. It's interrogation.
The higher the number, the worse the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. We have flipped or interrogation.
Yeah. So one of us gets dragged in,
All right, so
particularly after that whole toad thing. I'm sure they're laughing.
What is
Okay.
it, like a montage where we're all in the same interrogation room trying to get our stories to match up.
well, here's the deal.
Usual suspects.
You guys are in your lair in the apothecary shop. Now, the thing is, your lair is secure, but it's not hidden, right? People know, in the underworld, know where your lair is. You recently stole it, basically, from the Wraiths, who are on your bad side. They're another gang that used to have this place, and then Rind's spy contact, Valeris, actually made you guys aware of that, and you basically ran them out. And that's why they're pissed at you, but that's another story. It's secure, though, so no one can really get in unless you allow it, or unless they make a concerted effort. But you hear a loud rapping at the door. You hear some heated words from Cobb, the apothecary. And you come up and you see that there is a squadron of Bluecoats that have arrived. And they do not look happy. They immediately basically, they don't arrest you, but they want to, with no question, they want to bring Rind in to question. They want to interrogate Rind.
All right.
So, if you'll come with me, sir, we've got some questions for you.
Like, does this hurt when I do this? And
So
you
now,
like this up your jacks.
once again, this is going to kind of go in the face of what your typical role-playing assumptions are. Your initial one is to get your hair back up and to mouth off to them or fight them, and whatever it takes to not be captured. I know that this is like, you don't want it, but it's just assumed to be part of daily existence of being a criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you are basically, you just have to kind of wash it, so you're basically brought in. So we switch, if you'll come with me, sir, you kind of give looks to your crew, and we cut the scene fades in, and you are in a precinct interrogation room, basically. Just a slow dripping of water in some corner, some sort of slime on the ground, a wooden rickety bench that has like fingernail scratches in the table itself, as and there's like one guttering electroplasmic light that's just this
Very old man with a long beard shackled to the wall.
no, not that. It's not a dungeon. It's just a shitty room. And there's just a very bored looking Bluecoat sergeant there. All right.
Sure.
Is it Toad?
Guys, I was about to ask. Toad, is that you?
He goes, Mr. I don't know how to pronounce this shite name. Drekovac. Probably Scotlander, I'm right? Yeah, I'm right. I can see it already. Yeah, dirty traitor you are. We got some questions for you. The boys upstairs have noticed your little rumble down there in the night market. What do you have to say for yourself?
Deny everything.
What? Cat got your tongue?
I don't know what you're talking about. I was having a...
Shut up! He stands up and pounds his fist down. Don't give me that bullshit.
What do you think you saw?
We know all about it, and I'm asking the questions here. Don't play me. Why don't you explain it in your own words what exactly went on there? It ain't like that to cause a riot, just to nab a little bit of turf.
A riot? Turf? I have no idea what you're talking about. I wasn't anywhere near. I saw an older gentleman with a cane.
He you're not going to actually take any mechanical damage, but he just pounds his fist into the side of your jaw, and it like wobbles you. It's already sort of loose.
Yeah, no, it's already hanging off. All right, blue coat.
So basically, give me 1 second here, David.
Yeah, sure.
The way this mechanic works with this entanglement,
Yeah,
we're just kind of role
curious.
playing it out, which is fun. Is you can either pay them off with 3 coin.
Okay.
They're completely corrupt. Like this guy, you automatically know. Like if you're being interrogated by the Bluecoats, that they don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just want to be paid. Or they are going to beat you up. Like he really is going to pound you a little bit, and you're going to take level 2 harm of some way, shape, or form.
Those are the 2 options?
Either pay them off 3 coin, or they beat you up and you tell them. They beat you up and you tell them what they want to know, which means that you'll gain plus 3 heat for fessing up.
So 3 heat and
oh
I'm
my
more beat
god!
up,
Now
or I
you
paid
can.
them off.
Wait, we take
But-
more heat because of the heat we took?
Those are your options, but just like in the middle of a score, you can resist those, but you have to resist each of them separately.
Gotcha.
You can
All
you
right,
can resist
I'm
the
And then if you read the little paragraph underneath, it actually talks about like how you hate being captured.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
can,
mean,
you
to
can,
be-
you can
I already
resist
know what
the
I'm gonna
coin
do.
thing.
Say what, Chris? Sorry.
Can you resist the coin cost?
No.
Okay.
It's the harm
But you
or
can-
the heat. Well, wait.
Well, you'd have to resist
maybe
both
so.
because it says they beat you up and you tell them what they want to know. So they full on torture you.
Sure. Well, no. I can resist telling them what they want. They know, right? You said there's a roll mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can resist it.
I'm gonna read it like you can't really resist giving 3 coin. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you either give them 3 coin or you don't. There's no
Well, you
resisting
can
it.
talk your way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk. My character isn't the most charismatic character.
But I
So-
bet you've taken a beating once or twice.
I have done that,
Yeah.
and in fact, I know what I'm going to do to this blue coat.
So remember, if you're going to resist, it's going to be one of the 3 attributes, not an action roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to take stress by rolling, unless you roll really well.
Clarify again. Sorry.
So you're not
I'm
you're
gonna
not.
be rolling either prowess, resolve, or insight.
That's right. And the result is 6 minus the die result is how much stress you gain.
And
But then-
I'm about to get trauma, guys. I hope you guys are excited for this because we're
Alright.
keeping that money. We're keeping that money.
Yeah, the money.
Never tell.
I think resisting is absolutely the right way to go.
Yeah, I say, where are you from, Blue Coat? You have the stench of fish oil upon you.
You watch yourself.
Are you a fisherman's son?
You got a big mouth. It's gonna get a lot puffier in about 5 seconds. And I told you,
I just laughed.
I'm the one asking the questions.
I bet you've never had a straight answer in your entire life, have you, Blue Coat?
You motherfucker.
I spit in his face.
Oh, all right. So that means you're gonna take the
Take a
harm,
beating.
but resist.
Resist, yeah.
We could have done this easy way. He kind of
Yeah.
jingles his purse with one hand as he raises his fist with the other one, and resist.
Resist.
Q
So,
beating.
So how are you resisting?
I would like to try to use finesse to sort of minimize the damage to myself, to sort of like.
So
I definitely-
prowess, you mean?
Prowess, yeah, yes. That's what I'm getting at. Prowess, essentially to
Roll with the punches and
roll with the punches. Yeah, I mean, I've taken a beating before, so I know where the easier hits are going to land. So I as best as I can, like to strategically sort of, direct him in the way that's preferable rather than taking it right to the jaw again.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah, it's sort of similar to what you were doing when you were in the midst of that fight where the guy was pounding your face in.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, prowess.
So roll prowess, bonus dice, none. Right?
Can I help him?
No,
I know. It was
No.
There's no modifiers I can add to it, right? It's just straight
no,
roll.
because resistance rolls actually give you stress, so it's sort of like pointless to actually spend stress.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 1.
Oh, my. All right, you're gonna take 5 stress.
So I'm in trauma land.
I think we need a new hound.
So it just carries over into trauma, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually look that
Or
up.
how
'Cause
does that work?
I'm not sure if it rolls over. Give me 1 second.
Okay, hold on. Well, I was 2 short of a full stress bar, so now I was 3. Shit, what was I now?
So,
No, I was 3 short.
on top of taking 5 stress,
So I was there. I was there.
you don't actually resist, do you? With a 1?
No, you do. He doesn't take the harm, but he takes all the stress instead. You can always
I
resist. You
see.
just roll to see how much stress you manage to avoid taking by resisting.
Right.
Well, it's my choice of whether or not I lessen.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like if
Right.
it doesn't happen or if it's reduced. Like in the last session, he actually took reduced harm. He didn't avoid the harm completely.
Right, because it was like
Yeah.
serious ass harm.
Right, but I'll figure that out in just a second. I'm just reading about stress and trauma here.
Do you happen to know what chapter resist is in? It's in running the game.
No, it'll be up in the near the top where there's the basic rules.
The basics. Resistance. Resistance is futile.
Okay, so Rind, you have to look on page 13, please, where trauma is. You mark your last stress box, you suffer a level of trauma. When you take trauma, circle one of the trauma conditions. You get to choose. They are listed on the next page, page 14. Cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, unstable, and vicious. You can play your trauma conditions as much as little as you like. They can totally transform your character's persona or only have a small impact. It's up to you. If you do play them strongly, though, allowing a trauma condition to complicate your character's life, you earn XP for it. So,
Nice. I like trauma. It's a good.
If you take
But-
4 trauma, you're like done, right?
yeah, then that's
So-
basically like death
so
for your
question.
character.
Equivalent of like
Yeah.
character death.
Yeah.
So if I had
Crazy.
I took 5 stress. I
Mhm.
needed 3 remaining stress points to hit a trauma level.
Yeah.
Do I then clear my bar and put 2 stress for the next, or is
No, it
just-
doesn't. It does not roll over. But before you clear your stress, you take the trauma, and then you are basically taken out of the action. Okay, so that is not good for you. Okay, so that means for this phase, you actually don't get to do downtime activities. You're actually out.
Oh shit! I'm out.
You're out.
Oh, he
It's
can't even use the downtime to heal trauma?
It's like in other role-playing games, like being knocked unconscious is basically
Well,
sort of what
trauma's
it's like.
permanent, right?
Yeah.
Trauma doesn't go
Oh,
away.
trauma.
No, he's got the trauma. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick.
you're.
Does that mean that he doesn't get a chance to heal his harm though either?
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm out. So
I have to read if there's natural healing. I'm gonna have to read quickly about that, but we'll look it
There's
up
also
when we get.
one of my super cool powers that I chose is to help people with their healing during downtime. My physiker.
Right.
well, one of the actions you
Like,
take
if
as
I
a
try and
downtime.
treat him.
Yeah, I mean, one of the actions you take as a downtime activity is rest, is healing.
Right.
We'll
So
get
if
to,
I can't engage in any of the downtime activities, presumably I can't.
we'll see it when we get to it, but right now,
Right.
you need to suffer.
For now, I'm going to take trauma. I am going to let me
Reckless or
see.
paranoia?
Oh, I was going to go with that's cold.
Cold.
Or not. You imagine danger. No, I was going to say obsessed with specifically revenge against the Bluecoats.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean,
It feels into my already pretty high hatred of everyone here. So the Scovelin who just got beat to a bloody pulp by the cops is going to complicate our lives by targeting the cops that we kind of want to be on the good side of, I think.
So are you? Is it the Bluecoats as a faction as a whole, or is it this guy, or
I was thinking the faction as a whole, but it could be this guy.
up to you?
I don't know
I'm
how
just asking.
granular it's treated within the. Let me read real quick. It's all by one thing, an activity, a person, an ideology.
I could certainly. It could be a faction. I can see that.
Yeah, maybe I just really hate the Bluecoats now.
And remember, like you can play to it as little or as much as you want. So
I think that's what it is. I think that's my obsession.
okay, I love it.
I
So
really want revenge against the Bluecoats for what they've done to me.
Well, they're like a symbol of empire too, right? It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think that's good fuel for.
They're like the most immediate authority that is related to
Exactly.
the empire.
I love it.
all right.
That's gonna be it. I'll mark obsessed.
So he
Dang.
he just starts like just kind of doing, punching you and hitting you in the stomach, and you're able to sort of take the blows and soften them a little bit. But he works you over, but not enough to actually do any serious harm to you. And finally, after like a good 10 minutes of a thrashing, he actually gets exhausted. And he gets disgusted with you, basically. You've kind of emasculated him a little bit.
Do I have enough energy to sort of chortle at him? Bloodied.
Yeah, so you're kind of spitting bloody your teeth or whatever like that. And he's like, all right, I've said my piece, and he basically hauls you up bodily and hurls you out of the precinct.
Gotcha.
He's like,
I have this vision of we're sitting at the silk shop, and I'm in the front leaning on my cane, and the paddy wagon rolls up and Rind sort of thrown onto our doorstep, all bloody. Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Man.
That'll be like the cut scene, of him in the TV show.
Such a graceful and easy go for you to have your characters just breeze through the entire session, and I'm just getting beat
poor
up
Rind is getting the shit kicked out of him. Like in the TV, I like the way that John Harper sort of frames it as like a television show with cuts and stuff like that. So it's like the cut of your being hurled out the front door of the precinct, and then it cuts to you being hurled at the front door of the apothecary shop onto the ground. You know what I mean? Like one smooth motion, but through a cut. In front of Audric, who's just like with his arms crossed, right?
Yeah. I'm like picking up his broken sack of meat and dragging him in.
Just dragging him back in, yeah.
Oh, Tubes, I think our friend is broken.
Yeah.
You think you might pick him up?
Up on the table, I've got like grain alcohol that I start pouring into his mouth.
Sure.
No, it's for the wounds, Tubes. It's for the wounds, not
I sort of gesture at Tubes to lean in, and I in a very sort of meek voice, because I'm tired, say, my brain just totally what's the nation called?
Scovland, Duskfall.
Dusk. Yeah.
The city? Duskfall.
Duskfall. But what is their nation?
Oh, Akaros.
Akaros, that's what it is. Akarosian, I suppose, would be a
Akarosi.
Yeah, Akarosi. I turn, I say, Akarosi never could throw a punch.
Nice. And scene. I think actually there is actually a good time for us to take a quick break.
Yeah.
So we'll take a 5-minute break, and we'll be right back.